Inside this unassuming exterior is actually one of New Jersey's best restaurants. Lita, a Portuguese restaurant named for Chef David Viana's mother and an homage to his family and culture.
I was born here in America, but my parents are Portuguese immigrants, so we spoke Portuguese in the house, and I grew up in Elizabeth, New Jersey, right outside in the shadow of Newark and the Ironbound section. I would go there all the time, every weekend. I really, this restaurant was born in COVID because, as a chef, I'm not very nostalgic very often, where it's always like a prep list and something to do tomorrow. So in COVID, I was cooking at home and I was like making dishes that I hadn't made and hadn't tried since I was a kid. I was making my grandma's recipes. So this restaurant came in that, the idea came from that because I really missed those flavors.
Those flavors shine in the dishes I got to taste, from a beef paella built on a Portuguese pub dish to a menu staple that Chef David vividly remembers.
Well, my favorite dish was these clams in white wine and cilantro broth, and what really makes it special or Iberian is the ingredients, right? So cilantro and parsley instead of just parsley like you would in the Italian American home, but also the vino verde, the traditional Portuguese wine that we use. It always is vino verde. Vino verde is essential, and it's brighter. It's got the saltiness and salinity to it, and it makes the dish, right? So taking something like clams that are found in the Jersey Shore, but adding cilantro and vino verde makes them a major pato, which is what we serve.
And while Lita has been recognized by the likes of Esquire magazine and the James Beard Foundation for their food, it's actually the business model that makes this particular restaurant even more of a standout.
I've always wondered why, in restaurants we have so many recipes for one thing, but we don't have a separate recipe for coming up with a restaurant model. And I thought that, to address the pay divide and everything, we only hire chefs in this restaurant. We hire 12 chefs. 6 are in the dining room, 6 are in the kitchen, and every week they switch places. So it's 2 teams of 6 chefs, and all the tips in the restaurant are spread up evenly amongst every employee.
And the model works. Not only has Lita been open for a year and a half, each staff member is paid a full salary with benefits because of the way Chef and his partners operate the restaurant.
Well, most restaurants operate with a back of house, front of house model. So the people in the kitchen only work in the kitchen, the people in the dining room only work in the dining room, and the pay for the people in the dining room is mostly based on the tip model. And ultimately what happens is in a restaurant, the people in the kitchen get paid much less than the people in the dining room, and that pay divide to me is getting more and more inequitable, or with the rising cost of living, inflation, all the different things. I mean, it's been a rough 5 years, yes. And I think that if we don't address it in some way meaningfully, try to pay kitchen staff more in an industry where the margins are so small and there really isn't something that an owner can do to pay them more, we have to find a more creative way to create a restaurant model. So that's kind of what was the genesis of the idea, and we're really proud of what we're accomplishing.
And while Chef is proud of all he's accomplished here, his favorite thing is seeing his guests smile at that first bite.
I think the reason I really love cooking, is the constant feedback and the interaction with the person you make something to eat with. You know what I mean? So making someone a sandwich, the smile is the gratitude. That instant gratification of making people happy is why I started cooking.
For ONNJ New Jersey, I'm Cara DeFalco.